Hollywood rewarded Teyana Taylor with many honors. She received a Golden Globe Awards nomination, was offered a series connected to Ryan Murphy, and began gaining serious attention during awards season. Studios also offered her a production deal, while publicists helped shape a polished image of her in the media. Everything seemed designed to present her as talented but controlled, someone who could shine on screen while still fitting comfortably inside Hollywood's system. However, there was one thing the industry never fully handed over: the power to make the final decisions on her own projects. According to comedian Katt Williams, that missing control is exactly why powerful figures in entertainment feel uneasy. When Taylor stepped behind the camera and started directing with full authority over her work, she crossed a line that many insiders would rather artists never cross. At that point, she was no longer just a performer following instructions. She became a storyteller with the ability to reveal things from her own perspective. Williams suggested that the real concern is not about Taylor's public actions, but about what she has witnessed behind closed doors. During her years in music and film, she spent time in rooms where important decisions were made about careers, money, and influence. If someone with that level of experience decides to share what they know through film or television, it could expose truths that some people would prefer to keep hidden. In Williams' view, that possibility is what makes certain executives nervous. To understand why his comments carry weight, it helps to look at Taylor's unusual career path. Most entertainers are encouraged to stay in one field. Someone might be known strictly as a singer, actor, dancer, or director. The system often rewards specialization because it keeps artists dependent on studios, labels, and producers for every new opportunity. Taylor, however, refused to stay in a single lane. She explored music, acting, choreography, directing, and fashion, all while building a reputation for creative independence. Her journey began in Harlem when she was still a teenager. Music producer Pharrell Williams noticed her early potential, opening doors for her in the industry. Not long afterward, she was choreographing for superstar Beyoncé at an age when many young people were just deciding what they wanted to study in college. Soon she became connected with the influential Good Music label, led by Kanye West. At its peak, Good Music was more than a record label. It functioned as a creative network that touched music, fashion, and entertainment culture. Being part of that environment gave Taylor an inside view of how the business operated. She watched deals take shape, saw how artists were promoted, and noticed how quickly careers could rise or fall depending on decisions made behind the scenes. While many people around her assumed she was focused only on performing, Taylor was quietly observing the system. That knowledge would later influence the way she approached her own career. She understood both the opportunities and the risks that came with working inside such a powerful structure. There was a moment when it seemed like the industry might push her out completely. At one point, Taylor publicly shared on social media that she wanted to retire from music. Entertainment blogs quickly framed the story as a simple disagreement between an artist and her label Def Jam Recordings. Yet her explanation was much deeper than that. She revealed that she had asked the label to release her from her contract more than 10 times. Those repeated requests told a different story. Artists rarely ask to leave a major label so many times unless they feel trapped or unheard. Taylor explained that she felt invisible within the company, unseen, unheard, and undervalued despite her work and talent. From her perspective, the issue was not just creative differences but a larger struggle for independence. Eventually, she was allowed to move on, but the experience slowed her momentum in music. Instead of disappearing, she redirected her energy toward acting and filmmaking. That decision marked a turning point in her career because film offered something music contracts often limit: greater creative freedom. Meanwhile, Williams continued speaking openly about the entertainment world. In early 2024, he appeared on Club Shay Shay, hosted by former NFL star Shannon Sharpe. During the long conversation, he openly discussed industry power dynamics and mentioned several well-known figures, including Kevin Hart and Steve Harvey. His comments gained massive attention because he offered detailed examples instead of vague accusations. Later, he expanded on those ideas in his Netflix comedy special The Last Report, where he again talked about influence and control in Hollywood. Within that broader discussion, Taylor's situation became an example of how someone with talent, knowledge, and independence can make powerful people uncomfortable. In Williams' telling, The issue is not personality conflicts or creative disagreements. The deeper fear is that someone like Taylor, who has seen how the system works from the inside, might one day choose to tell those stories through her own projects. And once an artist has that level of control, it becomes much harder for anyone else to silence their voice. By February 2026, Katt Williams made it clear during interviews that his appearance on Club Shay Shay was only the beginning of a much bigger conversation. He explained that the podcast episode was simply the first step, not the final word. According to him, there was more information coming, and this time he claimed there would be proof and records to support what he was saying. As those interviews continued, the name Teyana Taylor started appearing in discussions with a different level of seriousness. Their connection goes back many years to the time when Taylor was part of Good Music, the label created by Kanye West. Williams was also moving through similar entertainment circles at the time, meaning he was around many of the same people who were making deals and shaping careers behind the scenes. Williams has said publicly that he observed contract agreements that went far beyond normal music business terms. According to his claims, some deals did not only control songs or album rights. Instead, they sometimes extended into personal areas of an artist's life. He suggested that these arrangements could include expectations about public behavior, relationships, and even appearances at events that were never officially listed anywhere. In his view, certain contracts tried to manage not just an artist's work, but their entire public existence. Because of that, Williams believes the challenges Taylor is facing today did not appear suddenly. He argues that the system around her was built many years ago, going all the way back to around 2010 when she first entered major industry spaces. From his perspective, powerful groups have been trying to manage her image and influence for more than a decade. If that is true, then what people are seeing now would not be a sudden backlash but the result of a long-running effort to control someone who might become too independent. Another important point Williams raised is the difference between performing in front of a camera and directing behind one. Actors and musicians usually operate inside a structure where many other people make the key decisions. Managers, producers, studios, and publicists often shape the story that reaches the audience. These layers exist partly because large companies want to protect their financial interests and keep productions running smoothly. Directors, however, operate differently. A filmmaker decides how a story is told, which moments appear on screen, and what the audience ultimately sees. The director determines the tone, the message, and the final version of the project. When someone holds full creative control in that position, they gain a level of freedom that performers rarely experience. Taylor stepped into that role with her first feature film, Get Light, which was connected to Paramount Pictures. The project was described as a story inspired by the culture and experiences she grew up around. On the surface, it looked like a major career milestone. The media often celebrates moments like this because they represent artists expanding their creative abilities and breaking into new areas of filmmaking. However, Williams believes the situation might feel very different behind the scenes. His argument is that the concern is not necessarily about the subject of the movie itself. Instead, he thinks the real worry could be about who is directing it and what that person might include in the story if they choose to reveal deeper truths. Throughout film history, directors have often used their work to express ideas that could not always be spoken openly. Some movies include symbolic scenes, hidden meanings, or references that carry a deeper message for viewers who pay close attention. This approach has been especially common in Black cinema, where direct criticism of powerful systems has sometimes led to backlash. By placing those ideas inside a story, filmmakers can still share their message while allowing the audience to interpret the meaning. At some point, news about Get Light became unusually quiet. Updates slowed down, and there were fewer public mentions of the film in industry reports. In many cases, this kind of silence might simply mean that a project is facing delays during development. Movies often take years to move from production to release. Still, the timing caused people online to start asking questions. Around the same period, reports also mentioned that Taylor and actor Aaron Pierre had quietly ended their relationship. The explanation given to the public was simple. Both individuals had demanding careers, and their schedules made things difficult. Situations like that are common for people working in entertainment. However, the timing of the news led some observers to connect it with the larger conversation happening around Taylor and Williams. Another reason the discussion gained attention is because Hollywood has faced criticism before over how it treats powerful Black women. Over the years, several performers have spoken openly about struggles involving pay, respect, or creative credit. For example, Monique discussed challenges she experienced after winning an Academy Award, and Taraji P. Henson once spoke emotionally about the gap between her success and the compensation she received. Critics say a pattern sometimes appears in these situations. First, rumors start circulating that the person is difficult to work with. The claims are often vague and rarely linked to clear examples. Over time, repeated suggestions about someone's attitude can shape public perception, even without direct proof. Williams believes Taylor's situation may be different because of the type of knowledge she might possess. In his view, earlier disputes often focused on fair pay or professional recognition. Taylor, however, has spent years inside major industry rooms where important agreements were made. That experience could mean she understands how deals are structured and who benefits from them. Whether those claims are accurate or not remains part of an ongoing debate. What is clear is that Get Light has not yet been released, and there have been few official updates about its timeline. Meanwhile, Williams continues speaking openly, and many fans are still watching the situation closely. In the end, the biggest question people are asking is simple. If Taylor truly holds important knowledge about how the industry works, what will she choose to do with it? And perhaps an even larger question remains, whether Hollywood is prepared for whatever story she might decide to tell. Clapperboard.